Hi there guys, so welcome to the next episode in my video about league strategy. Today I'm going to be talking about timing your trades and how to take effective trades when in lane. So this will only be useful in the case that you can take favorable trades. So let's say that you're playing a champion which can't take favorable trades in the lane. Honestly, at that point, you're not really ever looking to take a trade because it's never going to be beneficial for you. So the only time you'll really be trading there is when you're forced into a trade because you value getting the minion over keeping a little bit of health, and you're kind of trading back. But yeah, this video isn't so applicable to that. This is going to be more about when you can trade positively. So come out with a health advantage over them after a trade. When that is actually useful in terms of the expected value of a play. So this also doesn't apply to champions that can trade completely for free. For example, let's say you're playing Swain or something. If you can just EQ him for free or EQW or something like that, obviously it's almost always beneficial for you to take the trade, except for when you value keeping the mana over the value that it's going to give you. Taking some of their health. So a couple of concepts you'll need to understand for this video is, well, the first one's expected value. So this is essentially evaluating the value of something according to the outcome that it will most likely have. So let's say that you flip a coin, and if it lands on heads, then you get $1. And if it lands on tails, you lose 50 cents. So your expected value from every flip is going to be 25 cents, right? Because effectively, it's going to land on heads 50% of the time. You win $1. It's going to land on tails 50% of the time. You lose half a dollar. So overall, you're expecting a net gain of 25 cents per coin flip. So using this concept, we're going to try to understand when it's a good time to trade in lane and how we can evaluate situations where this makes sense. So essentially, the expected value that you're going to get out of the trade is heavily influenced by the position of the jungler and various other things. So I'll go into the variables now that affect this. So just to demonstrate the concept, let's say that you're playing a lane with let's say Kled and Renekton or something like that, okay? So it's something where every time you trade, you're pretty much guaranteed to trade damage back, unless one of you misplays. Now, most of the time, if you've got 40% health after a trade, and the enemy has got 60% health after a trade, we would consider this a bad thing. And perhaps that big of a discrepancy in general could be a bad thing, especially if you were against Renekton, because obviously he's a laner that has a lot of kill pressure on pretty much everyone. But I digress. Okay, so let's say you have a normally what would be considered an unfavorable trade. Now, if you have a jungler who is heading towards top side because he started bot, and they have a jungler who's heading towards bot side, then this trade suddenly becomes a lot more favorable, because despite you having lost a fair bit of HP, in comparison to him, he doesn't have kill pressure on you because your jungler is topside, and him losing 40% puts him in kill range. So this is just kind of a way to think about it, how trades change in value based on where the jungler is and how much kill pressure you have according to the jungler. So again, this also changes in terms of which jungler you have. So if that jungler that you have has 0 CC in a bad early game, let's say it's like Kha'Zix or something, who isn't so good at ganking but maybe better at counter ganking or something like that, it probably isn't a beneficial trade even though your jungler is coming towards top side. Then there's also other stuff to consider. For example, if you're in a snowball lane and you're playing, let's say, Riven against Yasuo or something like that, the expected value is heavily influenced also by one kill potentially being able to snowball the lane out of control either way. So it might be way more beneficial for you to for example, right, if your team's winning by the point that your jungler's like just finished his like second camp, or it's like a crazy game like that, you don't need to risk anything. You could just like not go for trades and just CS and only trade when he does, whatever position the jungler's in, because there's no point in risking that lane snowballs and potentially carries the game. So that's another variable that you have to consider when thinking about this. Another variable is wave position. If the wave is, say, pushing into you, your jungler's coming topside, you know he can't break a freeze if it's near your tower, and their jungler is going towards bot side. You know, at this point, your value from a trade becomes extreme. You could take some trades which would be considered horrendous. You know, you could take that trade I just talked about where you end up at 40% and he ends up at 60, because it doesn't matter. You're under your tower. He has no way of breaking the wave, and your jungler's almost there or something like that. In this case, your expected value from this trade is enormous. So this is just a general concept of how we can analyze the value of trades in the early game according to jungler position and various other variables. So let's talk about the 4 different situations in terms of jungle position that can occur. So both junglers could be heading towards top side from bot. Both junglers could be heading towards bot side from top. You could have the enemy jungler coming towards you and your jungler going away from you. And you could have your jungler coming towards you, so from bot to top, and the enemy jungler going from top to bot. So let's just think of a couple of examples. So let's go ahead here and open up a VOD. So we have SKT Huni here versus Faker on Jax. So Huni knows that Rek'Sai started bot side, I would presume, because I'm pretty sure Orianna didn't leash there, and bot lane came to lane late, so yeah, he's fairly sure here. So right here, because it's he knows that both junglers are coming bot side, top side, he's just completely okay with abusing this. 1, because he doesn't have to trade anything back for it, and 2, because like honestly, what are they going to do in the 2v2? If Jax is 50% HP, by the time that both of them get to the top lane, they lose the 2v2 every time. So I mean, in this elo, in Korea, most likely the Rek'Sai won't even go for it. They'll just be like, yep, only thing I'm going to do is, sorry, the Vi won't go for it. Because the only thing he can really do is cover Huni. And if Rek'Sai's decent, and he counter ganks, then you know it's going to be catastrophic. If they get 2 kills at this point of the game, Huni's just going to snowball out of control. So it looks like Vi's looking for an invade on the jungle. Honestly, I don't like this by Vi very much, if she actually tries to do anything against Rek'Sai, because Huni has so much priority in the lane. Yeah, if anything happens there, yep, she just backs out. So yeah, here, like, we can kind of understand why Huni goes for these trades and why he's so confident doing what he's doing. So he knows that Vi's pressured by Rek'Sai right now, so he can continue to trade under tower. So that'll just be our first example there. Okay, so we have Vizicsacsi here. I'm not sure he's against player-wise, but he's against Yasuo in the top lane. Enemy jungle's Lee Sin, and Vizicsacsi has a Gragas on his team. So Gragas is starting race into invading blue. We know that Lee Sin's he's either started race or blue. I don't think Lee Sin can, I think he can start race, but I don't see a lot of people doing it. So in any case, he's probably coming towards top side, and Gragas is heading towards bot side, so not a huge fan actually of Vizicsacsi taking these plays, because I mean it is a laner who has a decent amount of kill pressure. He's respecting the Yasuo's level 2, so I mean, he knows. He knows he has kill pressure. So at this point, you know, he's probably not going to take any trades pretty much, unless he's forced to. Well, if he's not going to lose a CS, he's not going to take any trades. Like, he'll only take ones like that, where he either mispositions or he wants to take CS. Because here, there's no value out of him taking trades, you know? So yeah, sure enough, he gets dicked on by that level 1 where he probably shouldn't have traded. Yeah, so I hope this video helped you guys out. Again, probably not very useful for low reload players, this video, but for higher reload players, understanding and applying this concept can really make a difference in your solo queue games. And can really take a lot of variance out of your play. So I mean, I couldn't find very many VODs where I can really show you in intense detail how this works or whatever, because there's just so many variables that go into this kind of thinking. But I hope that conceptually this can really help you improve your play. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.